differentiation is not really particularly hard. What's hard is breaking the old habits we have. And most of us as teachers have seen one-size-fits-all teaching since we were little kids. And we saw it in college, and we were taught to teach that way, and we've been teaching that way since we got into the classroom. Differentiation actually really is just a lot of common sense, and honestly, not anything different than just really, really good teaching. So I don't think the practices of differentiation are nearly as hard as breaking old habits. I think it's important for teachers really to envision what they would like their work to be like. I think most of us can develop in our heads pictures of a classroom in which students are working on work that works for them. You get a tremendous payoff in terms of student investment and achievement, but also their willingness to do the work. If the system's working, they don't fight it so much. And I think most of us like that idea of a classroom that's humane and one that's a good fit for the students we teach. So I think starting off to envision what we'd like and trying to understand why we might want to change some things, and then starting small, taking just a step at a time. There's nothing worthwhile that humans do that they do quickly. And so having a sense of direction and taking it a step at a time, and really trying to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it is helpful. I think differentiation is really expert teaching, and I think differentiation, like anything that works in a classroom, has to be built on what we know of good teaching. And so for me, a real simplified way of saying the non-negotiables of differentiation: we have to develop an environment that invites kids to learn instead of pushing them away from learning. I think we have to continue to polish curriculum so that it's engaging, worth kids' time, so that it helps them really understand as opposed to just trying to rote memorize things. I think we need to, with the curriculum, teach up, assume that kids can do good things and differentiate to scaffold them there. I think we need to use formative assessment consistently to help us see where students are relative to the things we want them to learn. And then when we do formative assessment, almost inevitably we see student variance. And that then is what signals us to differentiate instruction, not because we decided to do it on Tuesday, but because this assessment tells us that different kids need different things. And so then we modify instruction based on the assessment. And through all of that, have to have a classroom that's designed to run smoothly and effectively, but flexibly as well. And those 5 things, the learning environment, curriculum, assessment, instruction, and flexible management, are really the things we're aiming at. The book Differentiation in the Brain is very interesting to me in the sense that I, for a long time, have studied what research in psychology tells us about teaching. And so much of what I've written about and researched is premised in what we know from psychology seems to promote effective learning. And in working on differentiation in the brain with David Sousa, what it gave me a chance to do was to look at a second sort of root system for differentiation. If you study how the brain works, and our knowledge of that is just emerging, but if you study what we know and ask the question, how would we teach if we adhered to what we know about how the brain learns? In fact, the principles of differentiation are a very good match. So I think one of the major contributions of the book is simply to say we're learning things about the brain. If we want to attend to those, we might be able to do our jobs better. And it helps us understand how the principles of differentiation align with an emerging knowledge of the brain. So it gives us a better platform for thinking and planning.